Yeah, this is Damien again out here in the garage. Um, Wanted to kind of go over some of these ground finds. Just kind of show you what this stuff looks like in the ground. Uh, so this stuff, and at the end of the video, I'll go. I got a big bunch of stuff on the hillside from this same job site where it's kind of one of them deals that I run into a lot at work where you know we are running pipe in a ditch and we're responsible for disposing of our own spoils. And a lot of times I know where this stuff's going, and it'll be pretty much just landfill material. So what I try to do is save as much as I can. I mean, I've tried calling these sites in before, but this is what it looks like everywhere in central Kentucky. I mean, you dig anywhere here and it's going to look like this, and you call it in and they're going to laugh at you. I'm going to tell you this stuff is natural. I'll tell you 1,000 things except that this is a significant site that you're working at. So, it's really just a waste of time to call them, and it, could even cause issues with work. So I don't really mess with it anymore. I've wasted too much time. But so this job site was in Winchester, Kentucky. When we first started digging there was another contractor, some guys I knew pretty good. I started kind of asking them about the place. There was a stream where they had to kind of take that stream down into aqueduct, and the building was supposed to be sitting there, so this little stream had to be relocated. So first thing I did was ask them if they cared if I walked through that little stream, check it out real quick. Of course they didn't mind, and well, I found a couple things right in the stream. First was this point right here, which I've had in a couple videos. It's one of my better finds, I think. It's got a little fossil inclusion in there. Like I say, man, faces. It's got the faces in it. If you see them or not, that's on you, but they're there. But I found that, and then also found this, and this is what I'm claiming this stuff is. It's what I call old paleo. You see that face there, and a lot of times you see these tools. They're made out of like cobble flint, or just something that was easy to access. It's just some kind of tool. I don't know what it is. I mean, you can tell it's been worked, but not napped. You see the face in it, a little pointy-headed guy. That's pretty common for this stuff. And you see that it was a cobble from some of the other parts of it. Say, I don't really know what it is, but I do know it's a work piece of chert. So anyway, I knew this was going to be a pretty good site, and I knew I've dug in Winchester before too. I mean, you're not going to dig there without finding cool stuff. You just really, I mean, you're going to run into a lot of this stuff all over Winchester. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, all in this area, but Winchester especially. Got really good stuff. So anyway, when we first started digging, really, I don't know how deep we were at this point, but we hadn't ran into this stuff. And I look over in the spoil pile, and I found this point, which is also, I believe, archaic. I don't know if I said that about the last one, but I'm not well schooled in this stuff, but pretty sure both of them's archaic points. You see the face is made out of fossils in this one. Just because it's a ground find that wasn't found in a stream like that other one, you kind of see a little more of the detail. It almost looks like they may have been broke while they were making it. I don't know, because it don't look like the tip was finished. Look like maybe a guy just gave up on it, but look like they might have even been going for some kind of eagle effigy or something there. I don't know, but either way, it's one hell of a point, or would have been. Like I say, even a little face on a little chip there, but it looks like it might have been broke while they were making it. I don't know if you can tell or not. Some of you that know these points, I don't know that much about them, but either way, that was a couple nice finds, you know. And even once I got down to this stuff, this stuff started at about, I'm going to say 5 feet below the surface. In some spots it was lower, you know, more like 3 feet, but it really started about 5 feet and went down to about, well, went down as deep as we were digging. I mean, we at times got down 12, 13 feet, and it was a pretty good sized job for us, but started running into this stuff everywhere. Like I say, it's same stuff that we find in these creeks. This material is, you know, it's fossil material, or like we're in the Ordovician geological area. It's kind of a, like I said before, I call it kind of a dolomite, calcite, limestone kind of conglomerate. It's a unique material, and I think it's kind of what brought people here. You know, this unique rock. It's just they could do a lot with it, like stuff like this. You know, they could chip them bryozoa fossils out there and make tools out of them. They could do several things with it. Some of this stuff is more like like a stone fiberglass, where they could take off layers, you know. And like I say that before, I was talking about this stuff has grown kind of a mineral buildup over top of it. I mean, this is not what the tool looked like when it was used or made, excuse me. But you know, I've spent a lot of time getting this stuff off of here before, and yeah, I mean, it's worth it because they do look cool, but it's just I got so much of it, you can't do it to all of them. But some of this stuff, you know, they work the fossils right into their art. You know, if you look closely at it, you can see that nothing was random, that they did nothing at all was random. And a lot of this stuff, you know, got broke when we pulled it up, but still, yeah, there's some cool stuff. Once we got that deep, I did find a little bit of chert and stuff. I found this piece of limestone that you can tell has worked. I don't know what it is either, but you can kind of tell. It probably got broke there when we were digging it up. I don't know, but you can see how it was tooled. You see that probably was a face on there, little face there. I mean, they just put the stuff everywhere. And I also found this is a piece of chert I found there. It's a local chert face. You can tell this stuff is much older than the stuff I was finding. Those look like those archaic points. Face there, see that? And found this. It's kind of like the edge of a piece of chert, and that's got the cortex material around the back. I've noticed they did that kind of thing a lot. Also face, you know, face, obviously. But this was a little cobble tool I found there, also a face. You see that even after it was broken as a cobble and used some more, it started growing a new cortex. Now you can read about that. That happens, but it happens over a long period of time. So this stuff is really old. I mean, it's old. And you can see the original cortex, and then you can see where it started growing a new cortex. But that, another piece of chert I found in there. And this stuff here too, like you see little characters inside that's not random either. And see that face. I don't want to go into all this stuff at once, but I can tell you how they were doing a lot of this, making these little designs in their shirt and stuff. Just briefly, I'll talk about it. I found some rocks on one job site I was doing where they had been quarrying them off the hill, and you could see the whole process, how it worked all the way down. And they were rough stones up at the top, and I got down to this one layer, and I noticed a lot of rocks had like pieces of iron over them, like iron slag, and some other material that almost looked like plastic. But I kind of figured out that it might be fish skin. I don't know what it is, but it's not plastic. But when you first break a rock, it's not going to be that same color tomorrow. I mean, it's the sun's going to hit it and change colors on it. Well, I think they figured that out, and sort of like the same concept of photography with exposure. I think they were putting stuff over these freshly broken rocks, setting them out in the sun, and then they come back and they got their little guy in there. But I think it didn't take a whole lot of thinking to figure that out. They probably could have been quarrying some rock, had a tool laying there on a piece of rock, left for a couple days, come back, and bam, whoa, my tool's burned into that rock. How'd that happen? And they just kind of figured that out. Some of this stuff, people will say, oh, they weren't doing that. Man, it probably didn't take a whole lot of thinking to figure a lot of this stuff out, if you really think about it. But anyway, that's a theory. That's not. But I also found this piece of chert. It's probably some kind of blade or something. I don't know. You can tell it's worked. But like I say, worked and not napped. It's you get down this deep and you'll find that nothing is napped. See the face there? None of this stuff's random. I think the napping kind of came along probably, they had this Clovis first theory forever here in America. I think that's where you kind of distinguish what's older than Clovis, is when you see that it's not napped, where it's been kind of chipped. And some of these old lithic techniques I've learned from my friend Jan Van Es, that they were doing a lot of different things, like they were jamming them inside rocks to beat on them. They were doing all kinds of stuff before lapidary napping. Another couple unique things I found out there. This right here. Now, I find this material a lot, and it looks like maybe like some kind of terracotta or something like that, almost like brick. Now, what it could be is there's some geodes fairly close to here that have, you got your geode cortex, and then you got the crystals in the middle. Well, in between that is a material something like this. So that may be what it is, or it may be a man-made material. I don't know. I just know I find it at a lot of places, and it's always shows signs of these face people messing with it. I mean, they used it for something. It's kind of a chalky, light material. An honest archaeologist will tell you that every Stone Age people all over the world were using soft stone about 10 times as much as they were anything else. Maybe 100 times more. They just it was great for a lot of things. It wasn't great for hunting tools, even though I found some like gypsum points and stuff like that. They were using stuff like the cortex off of chert, gypsum, this dolomite, stuff like that. They were using that stuff more than any other kind of stone. Soft stone. You don't see a lot of soft stone artifacts people are talking about them or anything, but that's what 90% of your artifacts really are, is soft stone. And I found this material too. Now, I found a lot of this in Louisville and other places, but I'm not sure what it is either. It could be a man-made material, and I found some big pieces that made me want to think that it's some kind of pottery, because I found some that looked like almost like big shards of some kind of vessel, and I can't really tell you what it is, to be honest, but it's different. And I haven't found any like solid pieces of this. If it's rock, I haven't found any solid pieces in the ground. Kind of get it wet and show you what I'm talking about. It's reddish. Um, I really don't know, but I find it with this stuff, and it's got the micro art on it, so that makes me think that it's some of these artifacts as well. But like I said, I don't know. Another thing I found there was this piece of wood, and just like portable rock art, and with the same techniques as portable rock art, it's a piece of wood. I have found a good amount of wood preserved in the ground. If you look back at my videos, you'll see a couple videos where I just did just nothing but wood. A lot of people don't understand that wood can stay preserved in the ground, uh, especially around here in these mineral licks and stuff. You get in this mineral lick soil and nothing rots. But this kind of piece kind of works off the same concept as portable rock art. It's pretty phenomenal. But I'm gonna say it's wood. It's super light. It's weightless. If I hadn't handled it, it was covered in mud. I could just tell it was something, and then I washed it off when I got home and realized what it was. So if I hadn't handled it so much, maybe could get it radiocarbon dated, but I'm gonna say it's unlikely at this point. Wood's kind of hard for them to date anyway, but that's what I'm calling that, is wood. And I've found a few pieces like this at other places before, but they seem to disintegrate pretty quick. This right here is held together good, and I'm calling that portable wood art, for lack of a better term, because I really believe it's the same kind of deal. Found this piece of chert in there too. Nothing significant, just throwing it out there that I found it there, just something random. You see the faces in there. Nothing spectacular, but most of the stuff is pretty damn cool. So this is also something odd I found out there. It's got iron all in it. It looks like they stuck a bunch of rocks together with iron. And I did find a lot of slag glass and that kind of stuff out there. They were using iron here in Kentucky. There is no doubt about it. I can show you many places where they were using iron. That's kind of a no-brainer too. Down in Appalachia, you got coal and iron producing rocks together. They made it into the same campfire. There's no doubt. And sooner or later, they realized that they had something a little different there, and they found some uses for it. One more thing that was a little different I found there is this stuff. Now, I found this stuff in other places. I did a job up in Mount Vernon, Indiana, long way away from here, and there was a ton of this stuff there, and it was all like crazy artwork. I mean, it was nuts. But I found this long before I worked up there, and at that point I'd only found a few pieces here and there around here of this stuff. But again, portable rock art. It's some kind of rock. I don't know what it is. I found it in the ground up there. And, anyway, so this material, it's all kind of similar, but there's some differences. You see the fossils in there, and sometimes you'll have a big fossil that they've made some kind of tool out of. It's something, I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of tool it is, but they clearly broke this piece off and made something where you see all the little faces that pop out at you when you turn it like that. A lot of this stuff is just the dolomite. Just running through real quick. Mineral buildup on it. A lot of things you see from the creek, and you see in this stuff too, is the holes. And this was kind of high up on a hill, so I'll let you know it wasn't water erosion like a lot of guys want to jump all over water erosion to be the answer for this stuff. I'm not saying it's not natural holes, but it's not water erosion that did it. I mean, it's you know, fossilized material that had voids in it and that kind of stuff. Just, you know, they found these holes and they used them. Like this big piece here, you see the face. You also see that character on. You see it a lot, but I find this a lot in the materials in the creek. Is the hole going this way? And you can also see that kind of groove along the back and that hole in there. See, I believe that they used these holes for hafting, just to assist them in their hafting. It only makes sense. But it's also got some pretty nice faces on it. Now, none of this stuff is hand-picked. I just went out and grabbed some stuff just to make the video. But you see the same stuff, the birds. You know, you say, what can that be? Well, I don't know. It might be an owl hook. You know, that's an artifact that gets looked over a lot. But I think this stuff is a lot older than probably even the owl. But like stuff like this. Got face on one side, bird on the other. You know, I couldn't tell you how many pieces I found with this very exact shape right here. You see a lot of pieces that look like that. I can show you a bunch of them. You got the face there. That one's pretty cool. See, some of this stuff is smooth and doesn't have as much mineral buildup. Some of it, like if it was laying, two pieces laying on top of each other, sometimes it don't have the buildup at all. You can see this calcite crystal on this. The whole piece is calcite crystal, but it don't have the buildup right there because that's where it was laying on top of another rock, and so I just didn't get the exposure. But you can see the face very clearly. You can see it that way too. Again, you know, owl hook, I don't know, it's something that shape means something because you see it too much. And faces, man. It's just this stuff is, you know, hole for an eye, hole. Now it's kind of clogged up. Hole, all this stuff, holes. There's holes all in this stuff. This, you know, this material, if they wanted to make a hole in it, it probably wasn't very hard. I mean, considering. But just to give you an idea, some of this stuff, when it's not broken, has real fine details. See that or not, but yeah, I mean, this is what's in the ground in Kentucky. Right here, man, this stuff is all over. I can go right out here in my yard, stick a shovel in the ground, and it's not even as deep out here in my yard because I'm kind of in the old floodplain, so I could pull this stuff up in no time right out here in my yard very easily. I've done it 1,000 times. Any random spot, you're going to hit this stuff right here. Really, anywhere in this whole geological area, you're going to find this stuff with these crazy shapes. And you can't convince me that they're natural because you see the same stuff over and over too much. And I can see how this stuff was pretty damn handy. You know, you see this a lot too, where you'll have a groove kind of going this way, almost like they were using that as some kind of hafting system. And that's not the best example that I ever found like that, but that's the same deal, you know. Find a lot of these too, and it's kind of a different material also, but pretty much it's all the same stuff. You know, it's just soft stone that they can work real easy. Here's another calcite crystal. Now, this one's got quite a bit of build up on it, but that's all crystal. Solid piece of crystal right there. Why wouldn't they use it? You know, why not? I can't imagine anybody thinking that they wouldn't use this stuff. The actual dolomite itself. There's one of them that, here, this one. That one didn't get any mineral buildup on the back. When I clean it up, you can see that it's all crystal, really. It's just, if it's not limestone around here, it's some kind of crystal. They use that stuff. There's no way that they didn't. I mean, it's just too handy, you know. And there's too many signs saying they did. The faces are everywhere. Some of them are clearly tools, very clearly. Some of them just, you know, different stuff. Pull one in my pocket I'm trying to dig out right now, because this is one of the better pieces of art that I've ever found. I want you to look at this guy. Now, I don't know if you can see that face there. Look for eye, nose, mouth. See that? See that dude? I mean, what is that, man? Is this some kind of totem or what? That's not natural, because you see that very face all the time. And that's what I'm talking about. A lot of people can't see it at all. They can't see stuff like that because it's kind of an abstract face, but it's a face, no doubt. And it looks like a conglomerate material, but again, it's badass. And then you turn it this way and it's a different face. It looks a lot better when it's wet. When I was washing this one off was when I noticed that it was something different, really cool. It's actually one of my favorite finds. It's not really being nice to the camera right now, but this right here is an excellent piece, I think. At least I do. I like it. But like I say, it's whatever you like with this stuff, because there's no money value. There's just a cool factor if you understand it. And if you don't, I guess, you know, you can just call it rocks, man. They included these fossils in to make stuff. Like I say, I'm not trying to tell you what to think. I'm just telling you what I think. And telling you the reasons I think it. But a lot of this stuff is real cool, unique, I think, in my opinion. I'm trying to find one more there. Just an example of something else. I don't see it now, but there's another fossil here I want to kind of point out. Oh well, whatever. But and they use these different fossils for different things. And there was one fossil I had in here. Damn it, I don't know how to deal with it. But there's a little different material. Now that's more of a limestone type of rock. But I had a, oh well, maybe I'll show it next time. But a lot of these different fossils they use for different stuff. Just because a fossil, number one, is cool, and number two, you can do a lot with it. You know, a big thing around here, the horn corals. They work these horn corals, and they use them for a lot of stuff. Every time you post one, everybody loves to tell you that's a horn coral. Well, yeah, you know, we know it's a horn coral, but it's also an artifact. I wish I had a couple land here to give you an example, but I've got horn corals that have been sharpened to a point, and you know, in their natural state, they're a blunt kind of. They're pointy, but they're blunt. You know, and they always put faces into those too. That's the best way to tell if they're worked. And that's about it, I guess. I really got a whole lot to say more about these rocks. But this is what's in the ground. Central Kentucky, Winchester to be exact on these. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to go out on the hillside there and show you the rest of the pile of stuff I got from this one job site. It's pretty crazy, but I just kind of, at this one, I was trying to save everything I could, just because I was sending out dump trucks full of this stuff every day to the dump, and nobody was listening. Even the guys working with me were thinking, you know, this guy's crazy, man. And I started kind of cleaning this stuff off and showing them, and they were like, wow, maybe that is something. But it is what it is. You can't get anybody to look at this stuff. You know, you call it in, say, I got a site here. They come out and they start looking for flint. And, you know, if they would have found that little pile there, they would have said, no, this is nothing significant. So they're not even paying attention to the fact that this stuff is really damn old. But anyways, that's it. I'm going to pause this and I'll go up on the hillside and show you the rest of it real quick. Alright, here's the rest of this stuff. So, like I say, same stuff out here. Faces, faces, faces. Got lots of fossils. This kind of stuff. Now this didn't come from here. That came out of the creek behind the house. But this stuff here definitely did. It's all weeds are growing up over a lot of it. But you see some of that stuff's really big. Let's get these stinging nettles. Holes. Faces. That thing, look at that nose. Just stuff everywhere. That's what I was talking about, that groove for the hafting. Same stuff. Faces. Big pile of it, ain't it? I wish I would have made a better video before I let the weeds grow up in it, especially these stinging nettles. But holes. This right here is really cool. This should be a museum centerpiece, if you ask me. But you got Birdman, and then the crystals look like something in his mouth, maybe an egg or something. I don't know. But it's a shame that this stuff's sitting up here on this hill. Well, what am I supposed to do? Better than send it to the top, I guess. You know, solid crystals, fossils. See all them sponge fossils. And this stuff is really cool. You can't convince people it's man-made for some damn reason. But I know for a fact that it is. It's just too much. You know, you don't keep seeing stuff like that over and over and think it's not. You just don't. But these big ones up here, man, they're really cool. You gotta see them for the weeds, but this dude right here. Got broke, but these bigger ones, I had to grab a couple of them. Probably pulled 100 pieces like that out of the ground at this place. Try to save what I can, but eventually, just here it is up on my hillside. Love to clean this stuff up for a museum or something, but a long time coming for that. Plus I dig this kind of stuff up all the time. I really do. It's not uncommon stuff at all. Look at that face. I mean, come on, man. Let's not kid ourselves. This shit just didn't make itself. Let's don't be stupid. You'll be stupid if you want to be. I don't care. I know what it is. I don't need anybody else to tell me. Stuff's all man-made. There you go.